Welcome back to the channel US Rare Coins News, Top 1 where small coins tell big stories. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic modern US coins ever released, the United States of America Washington State Quarter Dollar from 1999. This is not just another pocket change coin. It's a historic piece, a cultural symbol, and for some lucky collectors, a surprisingly valuable treasure. Stay with me till the very end, because we'll uncover how much this 1999 Washington quarter has actually sold for at auction. The year 1999 marked a turning point in American coinage history. This was the birth year of the famous 50-state quarters program, a massive initiative by the United States Mint that changed the way Americans looked at everyday coins. For the first time, circulating quarters would honor individual states, celebrating their history, geography, and identity. Washington State had the special honor of being the very first state released in this historic series, giving the 1999 Washington quarter an importance that no later issue could ever replicate. Because it was the first, excitement was everywhere. Millions of Americans began checking their change, saving rolls of quarters, and introducing an entire new generation to coin collecting. That alone gives this coin a legacy far beyond its face value. On the front of the coin, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington, a design that traces its roots back to 1932. His calm yet powerful profile represents leadership, independence, and the foundation of the nation. Surrounding the portrait are inscriptions that affirm liberty and national trust, grounding the coin firmly in American tradition while preparing the viewer for something new. On the reverse, turning the coin over is where Washington State truly shines. The reverse design is both elegant and symbolic. At the center is the outline of the state of Washington itself, instantly recognizable and proudly displayed. Cutting across the design is a majestic Chinook salmon, shown mid-leap, representing strength, determination, and the vital role of nature in the region's identity. In the background stands Mount Rainier, towering and serene, a symbol of natural beauty, resilience, and permanence. This combination of land, wildlife, and geography makes the Washington quarter one of the most artistically admired coins in the entire state quarters series. Beyond its beauty and history, collectors are especially drawn to the 1999 Washington quarter because of its production story. These coins were minted in extremely large numbers, but that doesn't mean all surviving examples are equal. Most entered heavy circulation immediately. They passed through countless hands, vending machines, cash registers, and wallets, picking up scratches, nicks, and wear along the way. As a result, truly high-grade examples are far scarcer than people expect. Coins that remain in pristine condition, especially those that were never circulated and carefully preserved from the start, stand out dramatically in the collector market. Proof versions, struck with special dies and polished blanks, display mirror-like fields and sharp details that elevate them far above regular circulation strikes. When these proof coins retain strong contrast and flawless surfaces, they become especially desirable. There is also an added layer of excitement when it comes to mint errors. While the Washington quarter is not famous for a single headline-grabbing error, collectors have discovered examples with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, weak strikes, and other unusual minting anomalies. These mistakes transform an ordinary coin into a unique artifact, and uniqueness is one of the most powerful drivers of value in numismatics. What truly makes this coin fascinating is how it blends accessibility with potential. Almost everyone has seen or held a 1999 Washington quarter, yet very few people have examined one closely enough to realize what separates a common piece from a valuable one. Sharp details on Washington's hair, crisp lettering, clean fields, and an undamaged reverse design can make a dramatic difference when professionals evaluate a coin. Over time, the Washington State quarter has become more than just the first entry in a popular series. It has become a symbol of a moment when coin collecting re-entered mainstream American culture. That emotional and historical significance adds an intangible value that continues to grow as fewer top-quality examples remain available. Now, let's talk about the part everyone waits for, the money. While most circulated 1999 Washington quarters are worth only face value, exceptional examples tell a very different story. At auction, high-grade uncirculated coins, pristine proof strikes, and rare error examples have achieved remarkable results. In top-tier condition, with professional grading and outstanding eye appeal, some 1999 Washington state quarters have sold at auction for prices ranging from hundreds to several $1,000s, with the finest and rarest examples reaching eye-opening four-figure sums. Top 2 today, we're taking a close and fascinating look at a coin that often creates curiosity, confusion, and excitement among collectors, the United States of America Washington State Quarter Dollar dated 2007. At first glance, it may look like just another modern quarter, but when you slow down and really understand what this coin represents, its story becomes far more interesting than most people realize. Stay with me until the very end, because we'll reveal what examples of this coin have actually brought at auction. To understand the 2007 Washington quarter, we need to step back and look at how U.S. quarters evolved in the modern era. By 2007, the famous state quarters program was in full swing and had already captured the attention of millions of Americans. Coin collecting was no longer a niche hobby reserved for experts, it had become something families, students, and casual collectors enjoyed together. The image of George Washington on the front of the quarter had become a familiar constant, tying every release to the nation's first president and reinforcing the coin's identity as a symbol of American history and unity. Although Washington State itself debuted earlier in the state quarters program, coins dated 2007 still carry Washington's portrait on the obverse, and that alone makes them part of a long and respected lineage. By this time, minting technology had improved, production numbers were massive, and most quarters were intended strictly for circulation. That's exactly why coins from this period are often underestimated. People assume that anything modern cannot possibly be valuable, yet collectors know that condition, rarity within grades, and unusual characteristics can completely change a coin's worth. When examining a 2007 dated Washington quarter, the first thing collectors focus on is strike quality. Many coins from this year were produced quickly to meet demand, which sometimes resulted in weak details. Washington's hair, the lettering, and the rim can appear soft or flat on average examples. Coins that show unusually sharp details immediately stand out. Strong strikes, clean fields, and full design elements dramatically increase collector interest, especially when the coin has never been circulated. Another major factor is preservation. Most 2007 quarters entered circulation right away and experienced heavy use. They were stacked, counted, dropped, and exchanged countless times. As a result, finding a truly pristine example today is far more difficult than people expect. Coins that avoided circulation entirely and were stored carefully from the moment they left the mint are a completely different category. These pieces display original luster, minimal contact marks, and a fresh appearance that grading professionals look for. Collectors are also drawn to 2007 quarters because of the possibility of minting errors and unusual varieties. During high-volume production years, small mistakes can and do happen. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, grease-filled dies, and doubling in letters or numbers have all been discovered on quarters from this era. These errors turn an otherwise ordinary coin into something unique, and uniqueness is one of the strongest drivers of value in the numismatic world. Proof versions add another layer of fascination. Proof 2007 Washington quarters were struck with specially prepared dies and polished blanks, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details. When these proof coins retain deep contrast and flawless surfaces, they become highly attractive to collectors who focus on perfection and presentation. Even minor imperfections can affect value, so truly high-quality proof examples are especially desirable. What makes the 2007 Washington quarter particularly interesting is how it represents a mature phase of the state quarters era. By this point, the excitement had stabilized, but serious collectors were paying closer attention than ever to quality. The result is a market where average coins remain common, while exceptional ones quietly rise in value. This contrast creates the perfect environment for hidden gems, coins that most people overlook but collectors actively seek. Now we arrive at the moment everyone waits for, the money side of the story. While circulated 2007 Washington quarters are generally worth only their face value, auction results tell a very different story for top-tier examples. High-grade uncirculated coins, flawless proof strikes, and verified error varieties have achieved impressive auction prices. Depending on condition, rarity, and professional grading, some 2007 Washington quarters have sold at auction for hundreds of dollars, with the finest known examples climbing into the thousands. Top 3. Today's spotlight is on a coin that almost everyone has used, spent, or ignored without a second thought, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar dated 2008. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but behind its familiar appearance lies a story of history, craftsmanship, and surprising potential. Stay with me until the very end, because we'll reveal what this 2008 Washington quarter has achieved at auction and why collectors continue to pay close attention to it. By 2008, the Washington quarter had already become one of the most recognizable coins in the world. Featuring the iconic image of America's first president, this coin represents continuity and tradition in U.S. currency. The year 2008 itself was a significant time in American history, marked by economic uncertainty and major global changes. During this period, quarters were produced in massive quantities to support daily commerce, and nearly all of them entered circulation immediately. That high usage is exactly what makes exceptional examples from this year far more interesting than most people expect. The obverse of the 2008 Washington quarter carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, a design that traces its origins back to the early 20th century. His dignified profile symbolizes leadership, stability, and the foundations of the nation. Collectors carefully examine this side of the coin for sharpness in Washington's hair, clarity in the lettering, and the overall strength of the strike. Coins from 2008 often show softness in these areas due to high-speed production, so examples with crisp detail instantly stand out. Turning the coin over reveals the reverse design that was standard during this era, depending on the specific minting program in place at the time. Whether associated with circulating designs or special series, the reverse is another area where collectors look for quality. Clean surfaces, strong lines, and the absence of heavy marks play a major role in determining a coin's desirability. Even tiny scratches or dullness can dramatically affect how a coin is valued by professionals. One of the most important factors when discussing the 2008 Washington quarter is condition. The vast majority of these coins were heavily circulated, bouncing through countless transactions, vending machines, and coin counters. As a result, truly uncirculated examples are far scarcer than people assume. Coins that retain original luster, sharp rims, and untouched surfaces represent a small fraction of the total mintage, and those are the coins collectors actively seek. Mint errors add another layer of excitement to the 2008 Washington quarter. During years of high-volume production, mistakes can occur, and collectors love discovering them. Off-center strikes, double details, clipped planchets, and die cracks have all been found on quarters from this era. These errors transform a common coin into a unique collectible, and uniqueness is one of the strongest forces driving value in numismatics. Proof versions of the 2008 Washington quarter are also highly appealing. These coins were struck using specially prepared dies and polished blanks, resulting in mirror-like fields and razor-sharp details. Proof coins were never meant for circulation, and when they remain flawless, they offer a level of visual beauty that standard circulation strikes simply can't match. Collectors place a premium on proofs with deep contrast and minimal imperfections. What makes the 2008 Washington quarter particularly fascinating is how it reflects the difference between common and exceptional. Millions were made, yet only a tiny percentage survive in top condition. That contrast creates opportunities for collectors who know what to look for. A coin pulled from circulation may be worth face value, but the right example, carefully preserved, sharply struck, or containing a rare error, can tell a completely different story. Now let's get to the part everyone is waiting for. When it comes to auction results, the 2008 Washington quarter proves that modern coins can still command serious attention. While most examples remain worth only their face value, high-grade uncirculated pieces, pristine proof strikes, and confirmed error varieties have sold at auction for impressive amounts. In top condition and with professional grading, some 2008 Washington quarters have reached auction prices ranging from several $100s to well over $1,000, depending on rarity and eye appeal. Top 4. Today we're uncovering the story behind a coin that many people still carry in their pockets without ever giving it a second thought, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar dated 2014. This modern quarter may seem ordinary, but when you look closely, it reveals a fascinating mix of history, design evolution, and hidden collector interest. Make sure you stay with me until the very end, because we'll explore what this 2014 Washington Quarter has achieved at auction and why certain examples are far more valuable than most people imagine. By 2014, the Washington Quarter had already gone through several design eras, yet it remained one of the most important symbols in American coinage. This was a time when the U.S. Mint was balancing tradition with innovation, continuing to honor George Washington while also experimenting with new series and artistic approaches. Quarters dated 2014 were struck in enormous quantities to meet everyday demand, meaning they were immediately pushed into circulation and heavily used across the country. That widespread use is a key reason why top-quality examples from this year are more difficult to find than many collectors expect. The front of the 2014 Washington Quarter features the portrait of George Washington that has been a cornerstone of U.S. currency for decades. This design carries a sense of authority and continuity, reminding us of the nation's origins and enduring values. Collectors pay close attention to the fine details on this side of the coin. The sharpness of Washington's hair, the clarity of the lettering, and the overall strength of the strike can make a dramatic difference in a coin's desirability. Because production speeds were high in 2014, many coins show minor weaknesses, making sharply struck examples especially appealing. The reverse side of the 2014 quarter depends on the specific program under which it was issued, and this adds another layer of interest. During this period, the U.S. Mint was producing quarters with unique designs tied to national parks, historical sites, and cultural landmarks. These designs brought fresh artistic energy to the quarter and captured the attention of collectors who appreciated both history and visual storytelling. Clean surfaces, bold details, and minimal wear on the reverse are crucial factors when determining a coin's quality and long-term appeal. Condition plays an enormous role in the value of a 2014 Washington Quarter. Most coins from this year experienced immediate circulation, leading to scratches, dullness, and rim damage. Coins that avoided circulation entirely and were carefully preserved stand out dramatically. Original luster, smooth fields, and crisp edges are signs that a coin may be worthy of closer inspection by collectors or professional graders. Mint errors are another exciting aspect of 2014 quarters. With millions of coins being produced, occasional mistakes were inevitable. Collectors have found quarters from this year with off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and doubled details. These errors transform a common coin into something unique, and uniqueness is one of the strongest drivers of value in modern coin collecting. Even minor errors can spark significant interest if they are clearly visible and well documented. Proof versions of the 2014 Washington Quarter are particularly admired for their visual appeal. These coins were struck using specially prepared dies and polished blanks, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and extremely sharp details. Proof quarters were intended for collectors from the beginning, and when they remain flawless, they represent the highest standard of modern minting quality. Collectors often seek proof examples that display deep contrast and pristine condition. What makes the 2014 Washington Quarter truly intriguing is the contrast between how common it seems and how rare top-quality examples actually are. Millions exist, yet only a tiny fraction meet the standards that serious collectors demand. This gap creates opportunities for those who know what to look for. A careful eye, patience, and knowledge can turn an overlooked modern coin into a valuable addition to a collection. Now let's talk about the part everyone waits for, the auction results. While the vast majority of 2014 Washington quarters are worth only face value, the market tells a different story for exceptional pieces. High-grade uncirculated coins, flawless proof strikes, and confirmed error varieties have sold at auction for impressive sums. In the best conditions and with professional grading, some 2014 Washington quarters have achieved auction prices ranging from several $100s to over $1,000, depending on rarity, condition, and eye appeal. Top 5 today, we're shining a spotlight on a modern coin that most people spend without a second thought, the United States of America Washington Quarter Dollar dated 2015. This coin feels familiar, ordinary, and common, yet when you look closer, it tells a surprisingly rich story about modern U.S. minting, design evolution, and hidden collector potential. Stay with me all the way to the end, because we'll uncover what this 2015 Washington quarter has actually achieved at auction.by 2015. The Washington quarter had firmly established itself as a bridge between tradition and modern innovation. The image of George Washington continued to anchor the coin in American history, while the reverse designs reflected the United States Mint's ongoing efforts to celebrate national parks, historical landmarks, and natural beauty. Coins from this year were produced in massive numbers and released directly into circulation, which means nearly all of them experienced daily use. That heavy circulation is exactly why high-quality survivors from 2015 are far more intriguing than most people realize. The front of the 2015 Washington quarter features the well-known portrait of George Washington, a symbol of leadership, resilience, and national identity. Collectors study this side closely, paying attention to the sharpness of Washington's hair, the clarity of facial features, and the strength of the lettering. Because these coins were struck at high speed, many examples show minor weaknesses or surface marks. Coins that display a strong strike, clean fields, and full detail immediately stand apart in the collector market. The reverse side of the 2015 quarter brings additional excitement. During this period, the U.S. Mint was producing quarters with detailed and meaningful designs that honored America's landscapes and heritage. These designs often include intricate elements that can be easily lost to wear. Collectors look for examples where every line, texture, and detail remains crisp. A clean reverse with strong contrast and minimal marks greatly increases a coin's appeal. Condition is the single most important factor when evaluating a 2015 Washington quarter. Most coins from this year show signs of wear from circulation, including scratches, dull surfaces, and rim damage. Coins that avoided circulation and were stored carefully retain their original mint luster and smooth surfaces. These uncirculated examples represent only a small portion of the total production and are the ones collectors actively search for. Mint errors add another layer of fascination to the 2015 Washington quarter. With millions of coins struck, occasional mistakes were inevitable. Errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and doubling in letters or numbers can transform a common coin into a standout collectible. Error coins are especially appealing because they are unique, and uniqueness often drives strong interest and competition among collectors. Proof versions of the 2015 Washington quarter are also highly desirable. These coins were created using specially prepared dies and polished blanks, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and exceptional detail. Proof coins were designed for collectors and not intended for circulation. When preserved in flawless condition, they represent the highest standard of modern U.S. coinage and are prized for their beauty and precision. What makes the 2015 Washington quarter truly interesting is how it challenges assumptions. Many people believe modern coins can't be valuable, yet the collector market tells a different story. While average examples remain common, top-quality pieces are surprisingly scarce. The difference between a coin worth face value and one worth significantly more often comes down to careful preservation, sharp detail, and rarity within high grades. Now we come to the moment everyone waits for, the auction results. While the majority of 2015 Washington quarters are worth only their face value, exceptional examples have proven otherwise. High-grade uncirculated coins, pristine proof strikes, and verified error varieties have sold at auction for impressive amounts. In outstanding condition and with professional grading, some 2015 Washington quarters have reached auction prices ranging from several $100s to over $1,000. So the next time you see a 2015 Washington quarter in your change, pause before spending it. Take a closer look at its condition and details. That everyday coin could be a modern collectible hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into U.S. coinage, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another fascinating coin story. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.